I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? Let's move on to Freak These Tales. Once again, song 6, try to keep it a sexually themed song, and I was able to do that on this album.
First let me ask for forgiveness since I might go to hell. But I'm addicted to these girls, the way they fuck, feel, smell. And I've been around the world, in and out of hotels. Now I'm finally off tour, I got some stories to tell. It all started with Mel, my first time doing it.
So let me tell you how my brain works. And I don't know if Knife was saying this. Sometimes Knife will say something about the sample and it's not saying that. Like Batman he named, and like later on we get to Barbershop, he named that. But I thought he was saying something, and he was saying something different because he has this country slang that now I understand, but I was still seeking to understand. The beat was that? It sounds like, to me, it sounds like, I don't know if he said like, work that ass for me. Work that ass for me. So that's where the idea to make this Freak These Tales came. I always wanted to do something like this because it was a story rap by Too Short. Not a literal like beginning of any story, but these are the tales, the freaky tales.
These are the tales that I tell so well. These are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well.
I never owned that album, but I heard it bumping out of so many cars growing up that I know the song. It's one of those songs. And I always wanted to do a version of that. Misogynistic, vulgar rap, something I was into, and something I felt like I wanted to bring to the indie scene over a boom bap type beat. Do Freak These, even though Freak These Tales technically is boom bap, but it's not. There's not a chopped sample. It's not early 2000s, late 90s boom bap. But to me, it is original boom bap. I love Too Short's voice. I love that he raps slow. Without Too Short, there is no me. I feel like there's no living legends. Too Short is a legend. Somewhere after, like soon after this album, I get to go to Atlanta and do an interview. And I think I don't know if we were on the cover of Herb or just a story in Herb where I get to interview him and he interviews me, and we were riding bikes around Atlanta and just seeing how he behaved with the fans and how much they loved him. When you view this music strictly from an outside perspective, like I understand the harm it does to the psyche. We've spoken about that. But like aunties, like grandmas, hey, Too Short. Hey Todd, what's up, baby? And it was like, there was a moment for them. It was cute and it was fucked up. Like, I guess if you look at it through the lens of a feminist and blah, 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 but these are women, strong women in the community that see him as harmless, whether he's harmless to them or not. A lot of people like to think for or decide what's offensive for. And that was my problem why I had a new publicist on this record, because she told me what was offensive to a woman that I was speaking to who didn't find what I saw as offensive, who was also a woke feminist. So even a woke feminist can't decide for another woke feminist what's offensive. It kind of still has to be on the individual. Is it overall progressive songs like Freaky Tales or songs that Too Short makes for women? No. Should there be a balance? Yes, but in those days, Too Short, I literally had Kwame, and we'll talk about that, tell me stories about being on tour with Too Short and Salt and Pepper. Like, you get some pro women can get the dick and they're being nasty and give, push it. Yo, baby pop, come. Yeah, you come here, give me a kiss. Better make it fast or else I'm going to get pissed. Can't you hear the music pumping hard like I wish you would?
Yo, baby pop, yeah, you come here, give me a kiss. Better make it fast or else I'm gonna get pissed. Can't you hear the music pumping hard like I wish you would? Now push it. Push it good. Push it real good.
Is that empowering? Is that feminist? Because I think it is. Is she on tour with Too Short? Is she on tour with Kwame, who who's rapping about being an outcast and one of the big boys and he can't get a girl. Is she on tour with Eazy-E who's rapping about bitch suck my, like, it's just life. All of this exists and all of it deserves representation. That's a stance I'm not backing down from, especially when you can recognize it. It also helps when there's a good parenting. And I don't think what was not thought through on the side of my community is there are not enough parents who have the time or the bandwidth or that are even present to police some of these thoughts and some of this music. But I always prefer the authenticity over a marketed product. If you're being too much of a pimp and never showing your other side, that's a problem for me. If you're being the perfect lover boy and then on the, you're roofing women behind, you're a great image for society, but you're roofing girls behind the scenes, that's not cool either. Being authentic and seeking to do the right thing. You can be authentic and be a piece of shit, but being authentic on the road to being perfect, to me, would be the best case scenario. And I think that's what I was trying to portray with this album. Like, I am not going to go out like Common. I am not trying to go out like these other rappers that are portraying themselves as one thing. I am a multidimensional person. I like porn, but I want to be married and be in love. It's something that's just who I was at 23, 24 years old. That was my goal. Not single Common. I don't know what he does in his personal life, but I didn't. He may be just the fucking, are we living in a dream, girl? Are your eyes still green, girl?
Are we living in a dream world? Are your eyes still green, girl? I know you're sick and tired of arguing, but you can't keep it bottled in. Jealousy, we gotta swallow it.
That shit was cool, but I'm like, yo, I feel like I know you like bitches too.
Because the lyrics are so positive for the women out here.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, sister. It's like I think that we got to portray women in a better light. You know how, most rappers is talking all this other stuff, making women look bad. I was raised by my mother. I got a daughter, so it's like, excuse me. Excuse me.
It's coming. The skirt's too short.
Excuse
It's raining.
me 1 second.
I gotta go. This ain't cool.
Excuse me 1
I ain't
second,
getting enough money for this.
Bitch, didn't I tell you to get out there? I don't give a fuck if the police out there. I don't give a fuck if it's snowing. I want you out there home. This is a business. You ain't gone too far to see that yet. You know what I'm talking about? Get your ass on those streets. Get my paper. Sorry about that, sister. I'm sorry for that.
I like Water for Chocolate, and I like Too Short Getting It album that came around, I think, around the same time.
Now let me holler at your partner, spit this game in your ear for a minute. Quit complaining about how you can't spin it, cause you ain't got it. You got what it takes, but not enough to get started. I hope you get the message. No, it's not a test, it's just me riding the jet. They can't arrest me.
No slight to Too Short, I don't know his life, but I am actively raising 4 children on a single income and try to, partially homeschool, if not fully homeschool all of them, at least supplement what they're receiving in these institutions and being present, as I was just speaking about, to not censor, but police and help them digest all the shit that is coming through so many different channels now. We had to go to the record store and we had to go steal porn and, illegally buy weed and all kind of shit, bro. But now, to me, parenting now requires a lot more time. So yeah, I don't see myself doing it Too Short. I will add this moment though. My kid was walking down the street. They made a Valentine's card for, there's a Japanese lady that lives on our street, older woman. She keeps such a nice garden. Her and her daughters have a beautiful yard. And we're vegans. We love plants. We're the hippies. So we talk plants with them and they give us tomato vines and and the kids said they wanted to make her, the older woman, a Valentine's card. So we made her a Valentine's card. We were walking it down the street to put it in her mailbox. And then my son found a whatever those things are, the dandelion, the wish things where you blow them and the shit flies off. And one son, the older one, didn't tell me what he wished for because he's not supposed to tell. And my other one can't keep a secret, my 4-year-old. And he's like, I just wish you would make more rap songs, Dad. And I was like, ugh. And he's the fair one. I think he feels guilty because I think they have an understanding that I'm putting it away partially for them. But I have to impart on him that I'm not angry about it. Like I did enough rapping. Too Short's not somebody I can say, but most of the rappers are like, why are you retiring? I'm like, bro, I've put out a lot more music than you. I've been doing this actively for a lot. But for Short, I can say that I feel like I did more tours and a lot more shows than him. Grueling tours and shows, not the fly shows that Short gets to do. I didn't get to do arenas all the time. So, but maybe he has. I don't know. I don't know all his business, but all I have is love and respect for him. I'm glad he didn't stop rapping. I like a lot of his albums after. He didn't get his biggest hit till after that. Blow the Whistle is his biggest hit. He didn't get that till later, so he would have missed out on that.
I go on and on, can't understand how I last so long. I must have superpowers, rap 225,000 hours. Get a calculator, do the math. I made 1,000 songs that made you move your ass. And for the last 300 months, I made 16 albums with me on the front, and they bump. Where you get your beats, I heard 93 rappers say bitch like me.
And I understand all of this, but I don't want a hit record. I want to be a hit father that doesn't hit my kids. Well, not hard. Today we were playing Pokemon. We had to exchange some blows because I was Machamp. You got Machamp is the wrestling. I'm a fighting Pokemon.
You can do it! Don't give up, Charizard!
And they just spit on me a lot because they were fire breathing. So yeah, so I fought Charizard this morning before I came down here and did this podcast. Jokes aside, that's where I got the thing Too Short and the vocal sample. Work that ass for me.
First let me ask for forgiveness since I might go to hell. But I'm addicted to these girls, the way they fuck, feel, smell. And I've been around the world, in and out of hotels. Now I'm finally off tour, I got some stories to tell. It all started with Mel, my first time doing it. Nervous, couldn't speak, I was scared I might ruin it. Something like a pro, she knew how to take it slow. Knew one false move and I could fuck around and blow. So I went with the flow, it went better than I planned. Finally found something better than coming in my hand. They say you come twice the first time. Now I understand, I came once inside of her, then I became a man. The next couple times weren't quite that memorable. Tamika, Lydia must have thought I was pitiful. Busting after 2 minutes, I thought that shit was typical. That's probably why they never got back at a nigga. So once upon a time in the land around the way, there lived a couple girls that would never.
So one verse about sex, I'm asking for forgiveness. I'm repenting to the Lord, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I have been baptized. That has not changed, will never change. But I was going through some shit. Fame is unnatural and it's something to go through. It looks so pleasing that nobody thinks it's, I don't think it's an addiction. It's a drug. And how it affects the people is differently. But once you master your high, you always have to have a hit. And we'll talk about that. I didn't start feeling that until 2010 or something. But right now, it's just bringing me lots of things I thought I wanted, which was sexual partners, and money, and recognition, respect, clout. The kids have demonized it, but real clout. Like motherfuckers thinking I could rap, not like clout or not. Yeah, this fame, not clout. I don't even know what that's about. It's a Drake line.
Bitch, this is fame, not clout. I don't even know what that's about. Watch your mouth.
So I'm thinking of sex. I'm thinking of, multiple partners. And I'm reflecting on my first time that didn't go like that. Her name wasn't Mel. Yes, I was scared to death. My girlfriend is my girlfriend who I loved at the time was, this Ethiopian girl I was going to marry and make Rasta children, vegetarian children with. I called my best friend, TS at the time, bring some beaties. I just lost my virginity. He came over in his RAV4 and I told him all about it and we smoked beaties.
Nathan's and Masterses presents How to Smoke a Beatie. Step 1, open the pack, select a smoke. Step 2, smoke the beatie. Step 3, sit down before you fall down. A beatie buzz is a serious thing. Step 4, make sure to keep puffing. Beaties love to go out. Step 5, throw the pack away. Do it again next year. Don't remember. Fuck off.
I didn't drink alcohol at the time. That was it. My big homie that I thought was the coolest guy I wanted to impress, I called him, he showed up, and we celebrated. I lost my virginity after high school. Probably one of the last, I think I was the last person in the crew. That was log cabin days, last person in the log cabin. Last person I knew my age, I think, that was still a virgin. So like approach you how to slowly, one false move, I fuck around and blow. With the flow, find it. Come first turn of the day, that came once inside her, then I became a man. The next couple times, quite that memorable, yeah. I don't remember. But I know it was bad. I was not performing at a high level. And didn't get any repeat calls. I don't know. All that could be exaggerated, made up. Once upon a time in the land around the way, there lived a couple girls that would never give me play. Wish to wear a tight shirt, short skirts every day. Every time I try to hit it, they say no way until one fine day in this land of LA, one finally slipped up and she let me have my way. She kind of turned me out, changed my life, I must say, because I haven't stopped chasing these bras to this day.
Once upon a time in the land around the way, there lived a couple girls that would never give me play. Used to wear tight shirts and short skirts every day. Every time I try to hit it, they say no way until one fine day in this land of LA, one finally slipped up and she let me have my way. She kinda turned me out, changed my life, I must say, cause I haven't stopped chasing these bars to this day.
No use of bitch in the chorus, keeping the story element alive, freak these tales, like still keeping it olden. I'm thinking deep into this when I'm writing this. Once upon a time, in a land around the way. This could be a book. I might make a book about her. It's great. There lived a couple girls that would never give me play, so we're still going into the being shunned, the pain. These songs are almost back to back with a brief intermission called Trevor and Them. Two polar opposites to me. Used to wear tight shirts, short skirts every day. Trying to hit it. They say no way. You know, definitely bare midriffs at school and short Daisy Dukes, all that was allowed. If you ask Erykah Badu, she doesn't think it should be. I don't know if I agree or disagree. It's not my place. But it was definitely distracting and sexually frustrating for a young man coming into his own. But how else do you learn restraint without putting yourself near the fire? Every time I try to hit, they say no way till one fine day in this land of LA, still keeping with the fairy tale-esque theme. Well, finally slipped up and she let me have my way. She kind of turned me out, changed my life, I must say, because I haven't stopped chasing it. That's the thing I'm going to tell my sons. Like, once you have sex, before you're married, you know there's an option to get out and someone else starts to give you attention, because now you get the confidence. Now you don't, like, it's like dropping in on a ramp or something. Like, once you've done it, you're like, oh, for me, I had a lot of anxiety about the size of my penis, my performance, because I grew up watching porn. It's the equivalent I get when I do my ground waves spiel about my open mic. Like, when I started going to the good life, I saw motherfuckers that were so good, it scared me and made me want to rap good before I even got on the mic. And watching porn is a similar effect for me. It's like, oh, here's these motherfuckers with huge dicks and they're fucking all night and they're doing all these positions. I was like, I don't even want to try this shit. I'm not going to be good in a way high school works. Then everyone's going to know. And then I already had enough shame and embarrassment and ridicule. I was like, I'm not trying to be the weird nigga with a little dick or the weird nigga that comes too quick. Like, fuck all this. Let me wait till after high school and underperform with someone who doesn't go to school that I may never see again. Or she can tell people who I don't know. I'm neurotic as fuck. This is where, you know, a male in the household that I had a good relationship with would have been extremely helpful. But yeah, once you do that and you get over that and you're not locked into a marriage and you haven't really thought this all the way out, like, oh shit, well, I want to try this with someone else and try that. And then you're always comparing and it's never going to be the same. And all I was told was that God said, don't do it. You're going to go to hell. Don't do it. I was like, man, it's just better. You know, I've had some homies that haven't had sex with very many people or no people outside of their marriage. And because of porn, they still wonder, but they feel like the wondering is worse than the knowledge. And I'm saying the knowledge is worse than the wonder. It's better to be happily married and wonder what it would like to have. Because if you only have one sexual partner, that's the best sex of your life for the rest of your life. That's what I tell young men who haven't had sex yet. If you believe in God, even better. You'll go to heaven. There's one less thing to repent for, and another addiction that you don't have to deal with. I feel like dealing with the porn addiction is better than dealing with the sex addiction, because you're only really mostly hurting yourself. You're not hurting two people with lies and all the other things that go on. All these understandings that come to after the song. Well, finally slipped up. Because for me, for my ugly, nerdy, weird ass to get laid, somebody had to slip up and let me have my way. She kind of turned me out, changed my life, I must say. That comes from later on. It was explained to me that older women would talk about me like, oh, I got this young dude to do X, Y, and Z and Z. So not per se my first, but after that, my experience is like, oh, that's how I would get with the next girl, because this girl would be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And she would tell this older girl and this girl. And so then I was not passed around, but let's just leave that. But anyway, slipped up, kind of turned me out, changed my life, I must say. Because I haven't stopped chasing these bras to this day. Well, not anymore. But now I did City Walk, Universal City Walk in Los Angeles, before I discovered the Santa Monica Promenade, and in the Black community was a hot spot for a while. Things get popular, like Westwood was popular, Universal City Walk was popular, the Bridge was popular. Things get popular, the Grove was popular, and then the Black community descends upon it. There's lots of fights and gangs and all kind of shit, I'm sure theft. And the wrong element of the Black community, the criminal element, starts to invade and hang out. And they burn out the spot. So Universal City Walk before is burnt out, because then they'll put a curfew. Then there's people, if you're walking in groups of more than 3, if you don't have a girl with you, all these things are basically no gangbangers. Please, young Black and brown kids that come here to fight and steal, go somewhere else. So before those laws go into place, it pops. So City Walk was popping. Now I see walking with this itty bitty bitch about 4'11" with a switch. Now let's just say, but I think I got it backwards, but big things do come good in small packages. As for actresses, in LA, there's so many. Let me tell you about this freak named Small Town Jenny. After bad auditions, guaranteed to hit me to fuck on her break. She was waitressing at Denny's. Now there was Umi, female MC, talked most of the night about the MIC when it's time for us to get down to BIZ. She let me stick it straight in her asshole lyrically. I think I had anal sex before. I hadn't had sex with an actress, I don't think, before. I don't think I had a sex with a girl that short before. This is all just fantasy. She let me stick it straight in her asshole lyrically. Lyrically is shout out to Idea. Everything would be lyrical, verbally sitting on the lyrical furniture. Lyrically sitting on the verbal furniture. Lyrically, Murs. He was like, oh man, my brother was so funny. Lyrically, Murs, I'll fuck you. Like he would just, man, we would have so, like the one Scribble Jam battle was just, we had a rapport. Like we would battle like that. He was just so good and so witty, man. So that was definitely a shout to Mikey right there. So let me stick it straight in her asshole lyrically. Cause he would say something and it would go lyrically and like put his hand out and like look at you. Yo, I'm just saying, I'm kind of mad. I'll fuck you up lyrically, Murs. Nick. He loved to say that. And man, I really do miss bro like a lot. Just wondering what his kids would be like, or what his music would be like is like the last thing on my mind. Just like what conversations we have. He would be a guy that I would love my kids to meet. Like love my kids to meet him and fuck around with him and like talk shit to me in front of my kids and tell my kids what a piece of shit I was and how much of a better rapper he is than I am. Ah, man. I love chicks on E that you meet at these raves. They use it as an excuse for them to misbehave. I caught Rachel in the corner, all emotional and mushy. Put my dick on her tongue, glow stick in her pussy.
Now, at a City Walk, I met this itty bitty bitch about 4'7", 4'11" with a switch. And let's just say, well, I think I got it backwards, but big things do come good in small packages. As for actresses, in LA, there's so many. Let me tell you about this freak named Small Town Jenny. After bad auditions, she was guaranteed to hit me to fuck her on a break when she was waitressing at Denny's. Now there was Umi, female MC. We talked most of the night about the MIC. When it was time for us to get down to B-I-Z, she let me stick it straight in her asshole lyrically. I love chicks on E that you meet out at these raves. They use it as an excuse for them to misbehave. I met Rachel in the corner, all emotional and mushy. Put my dick on her tongue, glow stick in her pussy. And once upon a time in the land of
Fantasies. I never did E. A lot of my friends did E. The one time they all did it with me there, they just told me not to do it because of the kid that went up to the little brother's bus like, I'm Murs from Living Legends. Like, what's up? Everything, blood, cuz like everything is like, I'm such a melancholy, grumpy, aggressive motherfucker that the homie was like, it just wouldn't be right to see you. You don't need to do this drug. I was like, should I try it? And they're like, just nah. So I like skated in the driveway all day, tried to do 180s and kick flips. Not like heel flips while they enrolled and hung out in a room together. And maybe everybody else had a girlfriend. I didn't. That was just bullshit. Because I didn't. That sect of people like Log Cabin, there were no black women in that sector. And for better or worse, like at that time, especially like black women were the women that found me attractive. It's usually how it goes. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time, especially, being from our era when it was encouraged, like I went to an all white junior high and it was like, you can choose from these black girls. Every other non-black girl I tried to holler at, I was like, no, you have to like Tamika. Tamika likes to have you because you guys are, this is the way it goes. So maybe I was stuck in that, but also like the circles I was hanging out with Log Cabin were more non-black people. And it was just like, I wasn't getting any play. I didn't have a girlfriend. I wasn't, so the options for me losing my virginity were like, there were no artsy, there was not a left of center black scene that I felt comfortable in. I didn't fall into that scene. Where I should have been is the fucking, where I eventually got was like black college females. Like that was it. Smart chicks that were thinking outside the box, that like to smoke weed. And so I sold weed to college kids. I hit my stride. I found my demo. But back then I was just like, Anyway, I would go to the raves with these people and I still wouldn't be doing E, but I would just be going to raves and trying to pick up money off the floor or drugs off the floor and maybe looking for the like girls that you see in the magazines with the short skirts and the glow sticks and like, yeah, never happened. Found a couple $20 bills here and there. Maybe sold some weed, discovered drum and bass and jungle, and would just dance like a weirdo that wasn't high. I'm dancing. A lot of my friends say this too now that I don't smoke weed. Like, you talk like us. You can hang out with stoners and get the vibe. And the same thing, maybe I was just weird enough where I didn't need to do E. But yeah, I was fucking jamming to some drum and bass. But yeah, so jungle, actually listening to the music and wishing someone would get on the mic and not do raga. Those were my things. Freestyling to myself, wishing that I could get on the microphone and not have someone go, it sounds good, but I just wanted a chance to. Before it happened, I was like, if we could get Peace or Micah or AC or Jupiter or fucking Crazy Bone to get over these beats, it'd be fire.
My mind state's uninhabitable. If you travel through the gravity, we'll pull you through a cavity and trap you in a rabbit hole. I'm understandable and unfathomable. My mental plane's unlandable. My brainstorms make paddle boats till I battle folks. You and I are incompatible. Instead of animals, mammal. Hand-to-hand combat with cannibal commandos. My spit highly flammable. My tooth enamel ammo. I remember the Alamo. I saddled up camels in the Nat Geo channel. I may look like a Rasta, but I was still not into reggae music. I'm still not really into reggae. My knowledge of reggae and dancehall is extremely limited. For me, I'm a fake Crip. I'm not a fake Rasta. I'm from LA. People are like, where are you from? You from Jamaica? No, I'm from LA.
from Mid-City, from Cloverdale, from Okie Dog Crip. I'm not a Rasta. Dick in a tongue, glow stick in a pussy, sensational, visual, telling a story. Now I have a great hook. So I'm saying these are punchlines. These are also a way for me to deliver bars without having to do battle rap, like shit that makes everyone laugh. And yes, it's offensive, and I feel like rap should be offensive still, and outlandish, crazy. This song eventually gets me slapped in my face. So it offended people. A woman that I had been intimate with one day called me and was like, yo, what's up? I heard you're in town. You're back in town. Let's go to lunch. We went to lunch and everything was cool, catching up, like no vibes. Like I wasn't trying to fuck. She wasn't trying to fuck. Like just two people who used to fuck, like hanging out, catching up. So happy for all your success. What are you up to? Oh, that's dope. I'm happy for your success. Cool. You're in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. And then we get outside and she starts crying at the Beverly Center in public, in on a corner. And she's like, how could you do this to me? I was like, what do you mean? This, and this. I know when you said, let's just say like when you said Ileana and Dickies Not Pajamas, how could everyone knew that was about me. I'm like, did you ever tell me Dickies to wear Dickies in a wife beater? I don't even wear Dickies in a wife. And I, slapped the shit out of me. I'm like, yo, fuck you. Now the guy, the blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, my music is affecting the relationships of individuals that I don't even talk to anymore. This is the fame. I had fucked up a relationship with a guy that she loved by saying something that absolutely, I would never disrespect you like that. You're a mother. I feel like that's off limits. Like when people start talking about people's babies, mothers and shit, like where I'm from, like I'm like the G code from my era is like, that's no, man. The women and children, that's out, bro. That's out. I gotta see you waste on that. I gotta take your head off. You gotta go. It doesn't make sense, but that's where I'm at. Like, it's almost beyond fighting at that point, bro. Like we talking about kids and women. Like married women, not women of the night, not bitches in the club, not strippers on the pole. We talking about the woman who gave life to my child. You gotta, man. Listen here, I've done a lot of work, but back then I was like, I would never. Was it an affront to who I am? And I told individual men now, and tell your partner like me cheating on you is I don't cheat on anyone because it will reflect poorly on me. Hold yourself to a high standard where it's not about your partner, it's about yourself or your relationship with God. That should come first. And you definitely take in consideration the feelings of your partner, but if you're in a relationship to stay faithful because she wants you to, I don't think that's going to work out too well, bud. It didn't work. That didn't work for me until I started holding myself to the standard that the Most High holds me to. And the example I want to set for my children, it didn't work. That said, like I wouldn't do that to somebody. And I guess and not expect anything. Like on a public platform, you say what you want. Behind closed doors, my wife is whatever. My wife is short and her hair is nappy. Cool. You think that? And I catch wind of it. You're all right. But you put it on a record for the world to get? Yo. So I wouldn't appreciate it, and I didn't do that, but this is also me coming to terms with fame. All right, I had a dancer named Candy, stripper chick. Says she only had to dance to get her family out of fix. Fine as hell, but the bitch made me sick because after dating 3 months, she would still make me tip.
All right, I had a dancer named Candy, stripper chick. Says she only had to dance to get her family out of fix. Fine as hell, but the bitch made me sick because after dating 2 months, she would still make me tip. I know a female Mexicana by the name of Ileana. She likes me Dickies and a wife beater, not pajamas. Caught her with another dude, popping up by a casa, but I keep her on the team just to represent La Raza. Now, lesbian Liz hasn't called a lot lately. She loved to lick the legends, but she also loved the ladies. I had to let her go before she led me to crazy. She was lousy in the sack, laid back and hella lazy. A couple weeks back, it was all about Loretta, straight up hood rat. Always begging me for cheddar, had to keep her hair did, and her manicure was rare. But now I'm fucking the Korean broad that used to do her nails. And once upon a time in the land around the way,
This one, based on a true story. I went to Vegas with some friends. My friends who thought they were pimps. No, my friends who are good with the ladies. And we're in the strip club, and you're not going to get, like, stripper, like, they were ready to go. They had brought dates. I didn't have a date. So I had to, even back then, like, we had the party favors. Like, I had to go to, I had to use I don't do hard drugs. I had to use my connections in Vegas to get everything done. So after that, I'm like, I'm not on drugs. You guys are on drugs. Like, let me just have this moment with the stripper. She said she's coming back to give me her number. Don't fall for that, bro. Don't fall for that. Boom, she came back with the number. So then I went to see her at another strip club, and she just treated me like a customer in another city. And I was like, what the fuck? Then I came back to Vegas to see her, and then she made me, like, wait. It was the whole story, and hung out. And then we went to the dog park, and then I never had sex with this woman. So fine as hell after 3. So this is where I use bitch, because I was upset. Fine as hell but the bitch made me sick, because after dating 3 months, she would still make me tip. That was me squeezing all that rage. It's a huge story, one of the biggest stories in my life. It's a tale that's very long. But I tried to encapsulate my rage into 2 bars. So I use bitch, I believe, for the first time in that song there. Okay. Started dating 2 months. I know a female Mexicana by the name of Ileana likes me dickies and a wife beater, not pajamas, caught her with another dude popping up by a casa, but I keep her on the team just to represent La Raza. Fascinated with Latino women, especially Latinas, especially El Salvadorian Mexican women at the time. Still weren't coming to the shows. I don't even know if I had slept with a Mexican girl yet. Or El Salvadorian girl. Yeah, well, yeah, kind of half a El Salvadorian girl, if you want to. I don't know how that works, mixed. But yeah, very, very much in love, in lust. Female kind of by the name of Ileana, like Dickies and a wife, caught her with another dude popping up by a casa, but I keep her on the team just to represent La Raza. That, it says it all. It's funny. I always wanted to make a remake of La Raza, but now I get the meaning, and I shouldn't have tried to remake that. But we'll get into that story when we get to Marshall President. But yeah, just representing that side of Los Angeles, that saying La Raza and Mexicana, Dickies and wife beaters, like bringing the Chicano culture to boom bap beats really hadn't been done in a while. And I wanted to do that because it's so intrinsic to what it means to be a Los Angelino. Like it's Los Angeles. Like I say this all the time. Like, and it's just underrepresented. You know, the lowriders, the lokes, like all the NWA look, especially because they weren't wearing blue and red, was very Latino, was very Chicano. You could take Eazy-E's exact clothes and put it, and it'll be a cholo. What made it black was his Jerry curl. We share the same culture, like I said, especially when you don't do red or blue. If you weren't all black, like, that's an essay, that's a cholo, that's a gangbanger. I'm doing bunny ears. So I always wanted, it wasn't even like I had to try, like I wanted to represent it because it's part of who I am. And the more I traveled, I would say like, oh, I miss seeing black people in Germany, but I may see a couple Africans, but I will not see a Mexican. And that's weird for me. Day one, like I'm on Pico and La Brea, like I'm tacos, whatever, fuck, lowriders, like Mexican gang graffiti everywhere. Like this is who I am. I don't know anything. I don't know life without Chicanos or Chicano or without a Chicano influence. And back to me being in a room full of dudes from North Carolina, I'm throwing out as much LA as I can. Every, the Culver City bus line, once upon a time in the land of LA. Y'all got 7-Eleven out here, cuz like I'm banging. I'm like, I'm with it. Everything LA. I'm going so hard LA. Cause I'm in, like, this is what you do. This now I understand from Pooh's impersonation of me. Like, that's who I am. Like, I'm Murs from Living Legends. I'm coming to North Carolina like that. Yeah. Caught her with another dude. So what? that's something that freaks people out often. And from first time I got cheated on in 6th grade, 7th grade, I've always been like, all right, well, if you like him, cool. If you like me, let's just keep going. Like, it is what it is. And I'm coming up on another conversation I got to hold me to that standard during Murray's Revenge, if I remember to tell that story. But, yeah, who cares who you fuck? Do you like me? Do you still like me? Was it a mistake? Do you want to fuck? Whatever it is, I'm with it. I'm open to it. Fuck it. That's so much packed into that line. Let's just be honest. If we can compromise, if what bothers you and what doesn't bother you doesn't bother me, then let's keep going on being unbothered. Now, lesbian Liz hasn't caught a lot lately. She loved to lick the legends, but she also loved the ladies. I had to let her go before she led me to crazy. She was lousy in the sack, laid back and hella lazy. I just wanted to go Ileana. Alliteration is one of my favorite things to do. Nothing other than that. I don't even know if I knew a lesbian at the time. And if she liked to lick the legends, she was bisexual, and I didn't want to know if I was familiar with that term. So ignorant, just rapping. Really getting into the Freaky Tales theme there. Couple weeks back, it was all about Loretta. Straight up hood rat. Always begged me for cheddar. Had to keep her hair did and her manicure as well. Never paid for anyone to get their hair did or manicure did, I think, until I was like married. I don't know, shit that I heard motherfuckers was doing. There's definitely a rhyme there with a girl I actually dated that was black, that did have nails, and she never slapped me. Thank you for that. But that was so long ago. I don't know, but she probably would have knocked me out, not slapped me. She was with all the bullshit. There's a punch. I could hear an obvious punch like, now lesbian Liz. Ninth was just punching me like, do 2 bars, do 4 bars. And I actually learned that worked better for me as we move on to other albums, to just do 2 bars for when I got over my ego of punching in and technology, like, I don't know if anybody raps straight through anymore. And if you do, so what? Like, it was like a big dick moment. One take. Who gives a shit, man? Does it sound good? Is it right? And this hook, he shifted this hook. I still don't say this hook the way he recorded it. I think the way that I do it live is better than it.
Once upon a time in the land around the way, there's just a couple girls that would never give me play. Used to wear a tight shirt, short skirts every day. Every time I try to hit it, they say, till one fine day in this land of LA, when Bonnie slipped up and she let me have my way. She kinda turned me out, changed my life for one sake, cause I had to stop chasing these boys to this day.
He shifted it. I don't like the way this hook, the way it sits in the fucking beat. And I can say that because I love my homie, but that's just still a disagreement we have. But people love this song, so he was probably right. It's just not right for me. Sometimes he's right, and it's right with the people, and I agree later. That's most of the time. This is something I think is right with the people and right with him, and I say this different live, and I like the way I do it live. And I probably laid it differently, and he shifted it.
Once upon a time in the land around the way, there lived a couple girls that would never give me play. Used to wear tight shirts and short skirts every day. Every time I try to hit it, they say no way. Until one fine day in this land of LA, when finally slipped up and she let me have my way. She kinda turned me out, changed my life, I must say, cause I haven't stopped chasing these bars.
Yeah. This is a traditional Southern married dude hearing this weird old nigga in pajama pants and sneakers of weird colors that he's never seen. I brought the Homer Simpson dunks to a lot of these. There's these green and like kind of off-white, grayish, with the swooshes like, I forget what they're called, but those high tops, I can kind of remember what shoes I had. A lot looking down on my feet because I'm nervous, as I'm visualizing the scene. But yeah, I'm rapping, and this guy is shaking his head, SMHing, before SMH was a term. You ready for the next one? Not even, like, to the point where what I'm saying is so vulgar that I think he feels guilty about laughing at it. Like, I came in here, like, every dude in here, for the most part, is married. These niggas go to college, they go to a black college, they get married, and they get in their profession. This is a motherfucker. I think homie Vince is there. He's a motherfucking dentist. He's a professional. beautiful wife from East Africa daughter. Like, he is, like, these niggas are like, what is this motherfucker in here saying? What? And I'm gassing. I'm just going for the glow sticks and pussies. The Korean brought lesbian Liz. I brought out all the shit. I pulled out all the stops of this motherfucker. They're like, whoa, I'm sure. So there's lots of punches because I think, and maybe somebody would laugh in the background or I would start laughing because I could feel how uncomfortable I was making everyone. Yeah. Freak these tales. Hustle, hustle, hustle. The song that jumped out of my soul when I first heard this beat. Hustle. And the first time I said, I'm gonna go off script and say hustler instead of hustle.
And I'm a Hustle, hustler. You never find a dime that ain't mine, motherfucker. Not to be broken, have to stroll like a sucker. So pay me what you owe me and don't play with me, homie. Hustle, hustler. You never find a dime that ain't mine, motherfucker. Not to be broken, have to stroll like a sucker. So pay me what you owe me and don't play with me, homie.
Because that's just how it came out. And it was like, it's like when James Brown, somebody was saying, I think it was James Brown, like, it's like the funk, like, it doesn't have to be correct. Or it was Miles Davis, like, you play an off note, and then this musician was saying, and then Miles just took his off note and kept playing with it, like.
I have so many stories to tell about Miles Davis. And I remember that we were playing So What? So right in the middle of Miles' solo, when he was playing one of his amazing solos, and I'm trying, I'm in there and I'm playing. Right in the middle of his solo, I played the wrong chord. A chord that it just sounded completely wrong. It sounded like a big mistake. And I did this and I went, oh, like this. I put my hands around my ears. And Miles paused for a second. And then he played some notes that made my chord right. He made it correct, which astounded me.
Going off was hard for me because being on was hard for me. Because this is not something I wanted to do. It's something I felt compelled to do. But I wanted to do it right because I didn't feel comfortable. And then when I heard this, it's just like Hustle, hustler, never find a dime. Who cares? And it was right. Who cares? So go and start rapping. At the beginning, Little Talk, I'm uncomfortable with that Little Talk. I think this is where Knife made me do Little Talk, and I didn't want to.
Look, Knife, everybody out here want to be hustlers, man. But they don't have any idea what I used to do. I used to do anything imagined. A nigga like me was scared to go to jail, so I had to use my brain and think of just the most outlandish shit niggas will never do. I used to get dirty. These motherfuckers out here be out here just queer hustling, man. They got it all backwards. I'm gonna show them how I used to do it. A lot of people wanna knock what we do on my block, but we do what we do.
Because I had the song ready to go. Queer hustling is not in reference to anyone's sexual orientation. It's a literal queer hustling, like weird ways of making money instead of solid ways to make money. That's it. Comes from the homie's grandmother who used to say queer hustling and square locking. We used to say square locking. Like, what is square locking? And later on I found out, I think she was saying in a country accent, skylarking. It's hard to explain, but I heard it in a British film. It sounded like square locking. And I was like, what did he say? Skylarking. Daydream. Anyway, shout out to her. Rest in peace. She's a great woman. Tall, strong woman. Even as she got older, huge. He used to call her the regulator. Rest in peace to the regulator. Regulators! Yeah. Where to start? Hustle. I still perform the song after. If I have a hit song, this is one of my hit songs. Maybe it's because I was fresh off of doing Modern Man Hustle with Sean so much over the past year before I did this album. I don't know. And in doing that, performing Modern Man's Hustle, and we were actually modern men hustling. And now he ends with, now, girl, you have to understand modern man must hustle because I'm a HUS. That was such an honor when I heard him do that.
Say, I will show you all you need to know. You must hold on to anyone that wants you. I will love you through simple and the struggle. I'm a HUSTLE. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's get into the lyrics.
A lot of people wanna knock what we do on my block, but we do what we do cause we ain't got a lot. And you might get shot if your tongue's not watched, cause dudes walk around with hand cannons in they crotch, fucking up the way they walk, stuck to the strip like scotch with a top-notch botch that could cook, clean, wash. See, times is too hard for us to ever go soft, so the doc got me on prescription strength Zoloft, so I could deal with the stress and I won't go off. But I'm on top, won't stop till the microphone drop, rolling 4 deep in the cut like what, hit you up and then roll off. We tryna get this dope off. We don't do diamonds cause my dudes ain't show offs, tryna keep it low so we don't see no cops. Wanna blow up but I don't wanna go pop, gotta blow up cause I can't let this go stop. HUSTLE, hustler, you never find a dime that ain't rhyme.
A lot of people want to knock what we do on my block, but we do what we do because we ain't got a lot. It's back to when I was talking about Trevor. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of options. And you might get shot if your tongue's not watched because dudes walk around with hand cannons in their crotch, fucking up the way they walk on the strip like scotch with the top-notch botch that could cook, clean, wash. That's botch is like a reference to E40. Same botch instead of bitch.
Bitch, what the fuck you talking about? All right. It ain't like you some kind of notch or something, you know what I'm saying? Bitch, I'm Lieutenant Roasterbot, you ain't knowing, Captain Cyber House, bitch, that's my long-distance cousin from Boise, Idaho. We can't pockets, but do be saving hoes, and I've been saving miles. There's a big ass distance between me and Hoops. He's one of those modest fellas, and I'm Lieutenant Roasterbot, known for roasting hoes like marshmallows. Let you tell it.
Still trying to avoid bitch in my music. You know, I thought I was being revolutionary and trying not to be misogynistic. Probably not, though. But it was effort. The effort is there. The thought is there to becoming better. And trying to do still better than a lot of rap music made by black men at that time as far as the word, using the word bitch. Top-notch botch that could cook, clean, wash. See, times are too hard for us to ever go soft. So the doc got me on prescription strength Zoloft. Definitely first black man to say Zoloft in a rap. Before Zoloft had commercials. So I could deal with the stress and I won't go off. But I'm on top, won't stop till the microphone drop, rolling 4 deep in a cutlass like what? Hit you up and then roll off. Trying to get this dough, boss. Don't do diamonds cause my dudes ain't show offs. Trying to keep it low so we don't see no cops. Want to blow up, but I don't want to go pop. Gotta blow up cause I can't let this dough stop. Money is coming with the fame. Now I want to blow up because it's financially rewarding. I don't want to blow up to be famous, but I want to blow up to continue to make enough money to buy a house. To invest, to provide for this family that I want, even though I'm doing Freak These Tales, I'm still doing the pain. I want to prepare. And coming up the next couple of years is when I start saving to buy a house. And a part of the reason I stopped, we talked a bit about it, but I stopped drinking and smoking because I felt if I'm going to get married to someone, I can't get right when I have a kid. I got to get right and then get married and have a kid, if that makes sense. I had to start being the man, the husband and father I wanted to be before. And that also meant saving. So I started saving for a house and cleaning up my credit. All this started. Once this money starts coming in, like it's not like, gotta blow because I can't let this dough stop because I'm getting money. And you guys see when we talk about how I dress, what I drive. To this day, like I drive my wife's 2010 Honda Fit. I don't wash it. Any clothes I have, like I got on a Burns t-shirt from Strange Music, some Dodgers socks, and Little Pharma from Styles P's Pharmacy for Life brand. Like I'm very conscious. Usually I've like bought a shit ton of Beast Mode boxers, like anything black or hip hop on. Fortunately, however you feel, I got Yeezys on. Like the only thing non-hip hop or black owned is my fucking LA Dodger socks, and that's not changing. But I do think I bought them from a black store. So I'm very much not about like financial. If I can have money to buy things from people in my community, whether that be the hip hop community or the black community, then I'm going to do that. Or I'm investing in my children and my future. And this is me forming these thoughts, not really saying it, but even with the end of the beginning being the album before this is like, to me, the real manifestation shit. Not like people say, oh, say you're a millionaire, believe you're a millionaire. End of the beginning, I ended the beginning and I made my first classic rap album with this. Not by my standards, by other people's standards. I made one of my best albums or my best album after I said this is the end of the beginning. Like I put in the work. I'm doing all these songs. I'm doing all this experimenting. I'm busting my ass. Now I am for real a rapper because I didn't have a label developing me or A&R to tell me, or a real producer, or not a real producer, but a producer that gets involved like that to tell me where to go. I knew I had found my way. I didn't know Ninth when I named it. I didn't know that this would be a classic record, but I felt like being in tune with yourself and feeling what's next. And that line, like, gotta blow up because I can't let this stove stop, is me like, I want to be able to provide. This is now, I'm past the part where I'm going to marry. When I was selling weed to college girls, I'm like, I'm going to marry one of these girls that are pre-law or something. And like I said, make 4-track weird rap in the basement. Read comic books, take care of the kids, keep her house clean and cook for her. That's what I'm going to do. And be a for real artist and a father and a husband. This idea has disappeared now. I am making a living. So now I want a wife that's going to cook, clean, wash. Top-notch spot that could cook, clean, wash. Times is too hard for us to ever go soft. So the doc got me on prescription strength Zoloft. TMI, but Zoloft was making it impossible for me to lose an erection or to orgasm when I was on Zoloft. So that's an inner rhyme for myself. Too much information because my actual friends listen to this, but something that nobody fucking knows but me. Times is too hard for us to ever go soft. So the doc got me on prescription strength Zoloft. It rhymes, but that was what I was dealing with at the time. So I could deal with the stress and not go off. Riding the cut like what? Hit you up and then roll off. Trying to get this dough boss. It's annoying to ride with gang members. It's frightening sometimes. You never know who's going to drive up on side of you or who they're going to reach out of the window and hit up. And now like I said, your car would be marked. I think that pretty much explains this first verse. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. Hustle, hustler. Never find dime that ain't mine, motherfucker. Goal not to be broken, I have to stroll like a sucker. So pay me what you owe me and don't play with me, homie. I'm a Hust. That's something I'm still with. Like, I am not pressed. I'm learning. I talk to my wife now as my therapy before I go off on people, and I usually don't go off on people anymore. But everybody's relationship with money is different. Mine is a very open-handed policy. But back then, I was still stuck on my ego. And fucking with my money was fucking with me. This is a principality, Smokey. So pay what you owe me and don't play with me, homie. Like, promoter shortness after shows, shit like that happen here and there. But distributors not paying was a big thing. And one time I had to, not one time, this is the era of me having to set a precedent. I grew up outside. I like it better than the streets because we talked about the streets. The streets have gone to a level that I don't think I'm at anymore. But I was definitely, back then I was in the streets and I was an outside kid. And my homies, psh. And what I do have in my brother is, we are with the bullshit when it comes to me and him. We are all kinds of bullshit. So there was a place that owed me about like 6 racks or something. And they wouldn't pay me. And I was like, I don't know. And the thing with underground rap is like, I don't know who you deal with, but where I'm from, for real, where I'm from, like, I'm not playing with you, bro. So I pull up, my brother's 6'3", 6'4", at that time, 300 something pounds. I start picking up fax machines and computers. I'm like, okay, we taking all this shit. Because if you take me to court now, you're on paper. I have invoices and documents that state that you agree that you owe me this money. So at this point, I'm not stealing, I'm repossessing. Give me my motherfucking money, bro. I am not playing with you. And we got our money. So that's what it is. And don't play with me, homie. I'm not here to be famous. I'm not here. I don't give a fuck how many records you sold or what you give me my motherfucking run my shit or I'm running your shit. And nothing personal. I'm not gonna come in there and slap you or make a scene. I'm not gonna raise my voice. We're just coming in. And there's no more talking. Don't play with me, bro. Don't be like Blueprint, play too much. So early on, when I didn't have a lot, but I also learned that having multiple streams of revenue before it was an internet meme, having multiple streams of income. If you don't pay me, rather than me risk my freedom or have to call the homies, before I go there, I would rather just find a new way to make money because I am inventive. I am blessed. I'm too blessed to stress you or stress me to make it corny rhymes, but that's what paid dividends for me over the years. Just find a new, I can't really relate to people who are chasing money and small amounts of money. I remember I had a conversation with somebody like, "Dang, you still fuck with that dude? He owes you." I was like, "Yeah, he owes me money too, but fuck him. He's cool." He's, when people don't have it, like in hip hop, there's a lot of good-hearted people who go broke trying to promote good music, and it's not their fault. If you don't have it and you owe it to me, but you're not snorting my money or living lavish and living your life with healthcare. Like, what gets me is labels. Labels, like, you got a check to come every 2 weeks, bro. And you got health benefits. I don't have any of that shit, but without the music I create, you don't have a fucking job. But you want to tell me to stop tripping on my fucking royalties being late? Fuck out of here, bro. Are you crazy? That's the shit that gets me. But like in the promoters, when I started learning like promoters, like this is a kid that really wanted to do this show and it didn't sell the tickets. And he doesn't have any money. I just went to his house. Like I've had a couple business partners over the years. Like if you lose it, you lose it. If you don't got it, you don't got it. But you try to throw a dope show or you try to put out some dope music and it just didn't work out. And now you don't have the money. I'm cool. I'm not going to press you. But if you are, that's why don't play with me. Like, if you playing with me, bro, you got my money. You think that for some reason I'm the one, when it comes to principles. But even then, now I don't even have to worry about principles. I try to have multiple streams of income so that I would not have to press anybody.
STLE, hustler. You never find a dime that ain't mine, motherfucker. Not to be broken, have to stroll like a sucker. So pay me what you owe me and don't play with me, homie. I used to sell incense, bought them 10 cents a dozen. Hit the strip and make them flip for $1 a sack. Every day before junior high, I bought a 6-pack. Kiss on them for $1 a piece down by the track. And I never sold crack, I did aluminum cans. Used to get laughed at by you and your mans, but I never let it get me. Stayed true to my plans, I used it all for the studio. Now you understand. In the grocery store parking lot, like, can I help you, ma'am? To the car with those bags, used to run that old drag for an itty bitty tip, maybe a quarter or more. And when I wasn't doing that, I was knocking at your door like, man, speak to the head of the house and then give you the speech on how buying this candy's keeping me out the streets. Cheap dirt hustles, no glorious tales, but it did keep my black ass from going to jail. And I'm a HUSTLE hustler. You never find a dime.
I used to sell incense, bomb 10 cents a dozen, hit the strip, make a flip for $1 a sack. Every day before junior high, I bought a 6-pack and sold them for $1 a piece down by the track. Literal. Scarab taught me how to make incense in high school. I looked the part. I think on this final tour, I think I'm going to go back to making incense and sell them. Have Love and Rockets 1, 2, and 3 cents. Like, I missed that. And Dawa and Crenshaw, Scarab hit me to that and taught me how to make incense. And we would sell incense at school. I would have my mom make me I think my mom made it, like the basmati rice bags that are like made out of like burlap into like a shoulder bag. And I would put them in that shoulder bag and sell them out of there. I also had her make it into t-shirts. I took a white tee and had her sew the burlap basmati rice thing on top of the shirt because we work at dry cleaners. So we had a seamstress. Yeah, very earthy incense. 10 cents for 12, sell a pack for $1. You're making money to buy records, to buy more weed to sell. I think I'm around that. I stopped smoking weed at that time. Start selling it only. Buying sodas because we didn't have soda machines at my school yet. Before they allowed Coca-Cola in schools, kids would want soda, so I would buy a 6-pack and then go down by the track. Royal Oak Intermediate School, there's the track down RP, so the teachers couldn't see. You can come down there and buy, Pepsi Cool cans back in the day? Cool cans to come in, so don't be afraid. And if you get lucky, then you might get paid. Young MC had a commercial for him.
Extra, extra, read all about it. We're chilling when the weather gets warm, no doubt about it. To be cool and be somewhat respectable, pick up Pepsi in these hype receptacles. Cool cans are coming, so don't be afraid. And if you get lucky, then you might get paid. So yo, stop kicking, your pace better quicken before they run out or the clock stops ticking. Really, I'm not kidding.
With cool cans, you can win dancing cans. Got it?
All that shit, man. That's, type of shit I was doing. I've told the story a few times, but this mentality came from my grandfather, who was he would pick us up. We would spend time with him. We either fixing his properties, like laying linoleum, fixing light sockets, and shit like that, roofing, toilets, all the shit that I've done with him. Then if not, he didn't have any actual work for us, or the work was too intense for us. While he did his work, he would drop us off at LAX, and then we would just go and, for itty bitty tip, maybe a quarter or more. We'll get to that line, but you used to get a quarterback it used to cost $1, I believe, maybe $2, to get the carts for your luggage at LAX when that was new. And then people would want to go to their car before 9/11. You could just go in and out of the airport. When they used to check your baggage claim ticket when you came out of there, our job was to stay at the LAX terminal and offer to push people's thing back to the thing. Can I follow you to your car? When you finish, can I push the cart back for you and keep the quarter? Because nobody cared about the quarter. So over hours that he would leave us there, we made a lot of money. But that's the type of shameless. So you never know how God is working in your life. Going up to complete strangers and, usually non-black people and being like, hey, do you mind? Like, I'm out here doing this, blah, blah, blah. Do you mind? I never knew that I was working on standing on a corner, being able to approach people about buying my tape, standing at the merch booth, communicating to you to why you should buy this CD. And non-black people, like learning to communicate, that's a skill that a lot of inner city youth don't get because they don't interact with a race unless it's a teacher. But talking to someone on an equal level or, it's hard, I think, on a subconscious level because of all the institutionalized racism. But speaking up, being heard, being articulate, and knowing that at the end of the day, you have to mind your P's and Q's when you're speaking and how you speak to get the job done most of the time. Black kid asking you to follow. You just landed at LAX and the black kid asking to follow you to your car. Like, how do I present myself in a non-threatening, learning to shrink myself early and code switch for better or worse. How do I get this done? And my grandfather, like, this is something that doesn't happen now, like, left me and my little brother there. Not like he stood in the parking lot and watched. My nigga, he left us there, left us. He was gone. I'll be back in 2. And you bet there's no cell phones, bro. There's no pagers. There's no track my kid. This nigga left us there. And you better be here in 2 hours when I get back. Yeah, I better be there. For sure. Yeah. This is where I learned to hustle. I'm not talking about bagging up fucking cocaine. That takes a lack of conscience. It doesn't take a real work ethic. It does take some work ethic. But this doesn't take, like, you're serving people who are addicts. You're preying on the weak. Me, I'm hustling people. I'm providing an actual service that's of benefit to them. They don't have to walk all the way back because they just landed. They're trying to get somewhere. I'm providing a service that could be improving the quality of somebody's life and receiving a little bit in return. Hustling, making ends meet. I don't consider preying on the weak if you have an option. Like, this is where I say, like, where there's options. Like, I'm like, okay, incense. Like, herb, I don't have any moral, if it now is legal, I was right. There's nothing wrong with selling weed. Wow. Who'd have thought it? But it's not ruining anybody's life for me to sell them incense, weed, sodas, but I partake too. It's legal, but sodas to me are more dangerous than weed. Shout out to Dadgrass, indie local, all the weed beverages I can freely consume like candy and not worry about getting pulled over, get sent to the house. Yeah, I found a way out of no way. And shit that I could live with myself and look myself in the mirror, look at my children now and say, this is what I did. And I wish, trying to find ways to have them develop the same hustle. Probably involve scanning a barcode in Venmo now. And I never sold crack. I did aluminum cans. So I guess that's what I was hitting at. Used to get laughed at by you and your mans. There was a moment where I was staying with a family member or a friend of my mom's who was in choir who allowed me to stay at her house. It's just somebody that was there that was staying with her that was selling crack. And he's like, I'm watching him cook it up. I could still see like the whatever, was it Pyrex? Not Pyrex, the ones that bought the pots that were like smoky brown that were still transparent. I could still see it. Cause it was a moment for me. I'm like, I know people who sell crack. I know crack exists. I see crackheads. I want money to buy tapes across from where he serves crack. I'm like, yo. And he's like, yo, Nick, what's up? Let's cook this up together. I'll show you how to do everything right now. You want to learn? Like real big homie, like I said, the real big homie shit, this is still, he's teaching me a trade. Unfortunately, one of the few trades that's made available to us, but he's offering to, this is an older crip offering to teach me a trade. Something that like my grandfather saying, go out and push people's carts for a quarter. We'll get to aluminum cans later. My stepfather is, while me and my homies are getting drunk at this Super Bowl party, you go around to everybody and ask them if they're finished. If not, at the end of the night, when all the other kids, and because we didn't get Jordans and other, but we grew up in Black America, so a lot of kids made sure they had Jordans before they had fucking real food. So these kids with their nice clothes and me and my brother in our J.C. Penney's clothes going through the fucking trash can at the end of the night, and they're all going home with their parents laughing at us. I'm digging through. You ever dug? I know I have some Latino listeners and Black listeners that, like, you know what the fucking trash smells like after motherfuckers been drinking beer and smoking cigarettes all night and digging through that shit with your bare fucking hands. And if you don't do it, your stepfather's gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, when I say that I wasn't tempted, it was like a strong moral compass that my mother instilled in me. The fear of her and the fear of God that kept me from selling crack and just like, I had a heart. Like, I couldn't do that. And the sense of pride, like, listen to Public Enemy. And, even though my stepfather was grinding on me like that, he was like a work ethic. Like, he was a fucking janitor. He got up every day and busted his ass. And he would bust my ass. And it was just like, yo, like, all that was to destroy my community, risk my mother and my stepfather killing me or beating the shit out of me and going to jail. Man, I'm gonna just take these aluminum cans, cuz I'm gonna shoot dice. I'm gonna sell weed. I can live with that, but I can't live with myself selling crack. I can't live with my mother finding out that I sold crack. I can't, and then back then too, like, everybody knew it was like, he just came home from camp. He's like, nigga, we going to Camp Kilpatrick. We gonna play football, cuz. Like, you gonna rumble, what I'm doing outside right now, I'm fighting and I'm fucking playing football, playing sports. I'm gonna have more time to lift weights. There's no girls to call me ugly. Like, jail wasn't as much of a turn as fucking disappointing my family. My grandfather comes from a family of 13 boys and girls in buttfuck Florida. There wasn't any felons until they got to my generation. I believe all 13 kids went on to be millionaires. All of them college graduates except for my grandfather, who was the oldest boy. I had to work the fields. I had a legacy that I couldn't. And for years, I was like, look at my friends and like compare like how much their parents, like, our parents make the same. But that legacy and being able to go to Florida, every summer, every other summer, and go to the family reunion and hear the story and be in church, like, that shit like you said, you never know what God's preparing you for. Like, that prepared me to be like, nah, I can't do it, cuz. Like, no, I ain't gonna tell. I'll help you bag it up. I'll do a lot of shit, but what I'm not going to do is give that to somebody else or waste my time learning how to do this shit. Used to laughed at by you and your mans. Use it all for the studio. Now you understand. Now I'm making the money. Now you understand. We talked about earlier, like in high school, there were no rappers throwing money all around on television. Rap wasn't a profession to get rich at. You could get famous, but that wasn't a job. You're not in the NBA. You're not a doctor, cuz. You're not blood. Like you're not on. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a career. A rap's not a career. That's something you do, and it's a fad. But now you understand. In the grocery store parking lot, can't help you man to the car with them bags, just running an old drag for an itty bitty tip, maybe a quarter or more. Well, my mom, a Frontier Market in Linwood. Now my grandfather got me hooked on the hustle. We, instead of playing football, me and my brother like, fuck it. We're going to Frontier Market that just opened up and helping people to the car. I don't know. I think she saw us in the parking lot and she said, if you don't, like, she was embarrassed. Like, if you don't stop begging these people for money, get your ass home. But I had to be like, your dad taught me it. I didn't come up with this idea. I'm not trying to be out here, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I didn't just make this up, So she put a stop to that. The funny thing is, if you see the Hussle video, it's my mom I'm asking for the change in the video. If it wasn't doing that, I was knocking at your door, like, man, speak to the head of the house and give you a speech on how buying this candy's keeping me out the streets. Cheap dirt hustle, no glorious tales. They keep my black ass from going to jail. Yeah, man. That was it. That was the last straw of me trying to find a legitimate, I don't say last straw. I did CalPERG. I saw somebody from the ASPCA, CalPERG, whatever, door-to-door canvassing. That type of shit doesn't work for black men, really. CalPERG was an organization where you go door to door and get, like, raise money for the Green Party, the Democratic Party, and nah. But I was okay trying that job because they found me, and, like, I live in West LA. Like, we had a house. Like, I don't know what, like I said, it was hard for me to see the difference between me and my friends. But yeah, we were in a van. Sometimes my desire, like, I wasn't of the income or had the story that some of these kids selling candy in front of Target or whatever you see them do. But I was with them. There was a white guy coming through with a van. I don't even know how we got hooked up with him. I think they just came through and asked if we did it. And you would sell, like, you would keep a certain amount of money for the candy and they would get money for the candy, but I'm sure the candy cost them 50 cents. They would take $2.50 and you would get $2.50 for every box you sold. And you're not allowed to take donations, but we would just ask for donations so that we could get the money and fuck your candy. Cause like we were smart. We knew, like, poverty pimping. So they put us all in a van. And luckily, like, that, I don't know if they knew the hoods, but, like, we never got sent on any routes where we had beef with niggas. So that was cool. So it'd be a bunch of random niggas from the neighborhood or other neighborhoods that got along with us. And me and my brother and whoever else come up off the streets and they put us in a van with this candy and then we drive. Funny thing is, like, when I got friends with, like, some of my friends in high school, like, I never said, but, like, yeah, these are houses that I used to try to go when we'd be, like, in Beverly Wood and shit like that. Like, these are houses that they would take us to sell. And then when I started living places and kids would come to my door, I'm like, I live in that neighborhood now. Oh shit. All right. I must be doing okay. But yeah, man, seeing someone that's 13 years old in a van and, like, they would put us with, like, random, like, like, liberal white kids driving the van. Like, I think they thought they were doing good too, or they were hustlers. I don't know which one it was. Like, seeing an 18-year-old Jewish kid fly down Venice Boulevard to get the homie home because he's on house arrest at 13 years old before his ankle monitor goes off. And seeing that nigga run up and, like, jump through the door with his feet first, bro, it's like you had to be there. You wasn't outside. Like, this shit was tremendously, like, impactful, bro. Like, I don't want to, like, go be on house arrest. Like, I'm gonna get to go home and listen to some music, read a comic book, or read The Source. Call a girl that friend zoned me on the phone. Like, I want to do all this shit. I want to play basketball in the backyard. I want to smoke a beanie. Like, I don't want to be running into the house foot first because I'm out selling candy, but I'm on house arrest or whatever the fuck it's called. Whatever they call work release. Whatever. I don't even know it's work release. He was a teenager, bro. This is where your tax dollars are going. Man, America's fucked up. Now I can make $1 out of dime when I holler out a rhyme. From the school of hard knocks, still a scholar of the ground. I was really proud of that rap back then. $1 out of dime, holler out a rhyme. And I was hitting the drum pattern too. Woo! Young Nicholas, I had stepped up my shit. Young Murs was, you could hear the drums, make $1 out of dime when I holler out a rhyme. From the school of hard knocks, still a scholar of the grind. Used to dovetail myself, kind of quality was fine, but it sounded like shit. Hella hits, lots of static. But for 3 + 2, for $5, but number 32, them shits move like magic. You pass it along. I hope everybody got that reference. Shit like magic. That's 5 well spent for true hip-hop addicts. Then once their friends heard, then they all had to have it. Took it on the roads, a little to no baggage, just draws and cassettes, dropping jaws with my sets. Once they saw the live show, I had to take a piece home. Now almost famous, used to be least known, but not too big to walk the streets alone. Stand in front of any venue with a box of CDs.
Don't play with me, I can make $1 out of dime when I holler out a rhyme. From the school of hard knocks, so a scholar of the grind. Used to dovetail myself, claim the quality was fine, but it sounded like shit. Hella hits, lots of static. But for 3 + 2, them shits move like magic. That's 5 well spent for true hip-hop addicts. And once they friends heard it, then they all had to have it. So I took it on the road with little to no baggage. Just some draws and cassettes, dropping jaws with my sets. Once they saw the live show, they had to take a piece home. Now I'm almost famous, used to be least known, but not too big to walk the streets alone. Stand in front of any venue with a box of CDs. And these kids love me, I stay DTE. Down to earth and down to merch at any given moment. If there's money on the block, then where am I? Cause I'm an Hustle, hustler. You never find a dime that ain't mine, motherfucker. Not to be broken, have to stroll like a sucker. So pay me what you owe me and don't play with me.
Throughout my career is just like the it takes two line. I'm not a sucker, so I don't need a bodyguard thing. Always resonated with me. Being with Shock G resonated with me. Like he would just go places and people would love him because he was Shock. Like if I say cuz, if I say whatever, I don't mean no harm, man. Like I think niggas get it. I'm out here trying to do what's best for us, for these kids, for my kids, for your kids, for your mother, for your grandmother. Like I'm just trying to help my community, bro. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. Well, before coming in the podcast, I had to get into it with somebody. It's just over shit that if I see something that's not right, I'm gonna say something. My nigga, like if you gotta like nigga pull out a bat and some shit, and I'm like, bro, fuck you mean, man? Like I'm not wrong. This shit is wrong. You're wrong. And I don't want to get in your thing, but this is not right. Like, I just can't. But I'm not trying to fuck up nobody's money. I'm not trying to beef over no bullshit. I'm not, Matthew 5, whatever the fuck. I'm just trying to be peacemaker, bro. And, yeah, man, stand in front of any venue, but not too big to walk the streets alone, still dealing with the fame. I don't want to be too famous where I can't go anywhere. But something Dell told me early on as well is like, when you stop doing normal things is when you stop being able to do normal things. As kids love me, I stay DTE. Down to Earth was a shout out to dancing crew in LA called Down to Earth. Shout out to Meshack. They were dope. Just like Double K sounding Down to Earth on wax, like on boom bap tracks, repping for LA. Down to merch. I feel like I'm first rapper to say merch at this point. I don't know. A little girl at my son's school asked me, like, did you like being a rapper? I'm not quitting doing live shows. I will always be a rapper. I'm just not putting out music. It doesn't make me not a rapper. Your auntie is still a singer, even though she just sings in the choir at church. I'm still a rapper. But yeah, she's like, oh, and I had on my weekend at Mercer. She's like, oh, and you got on your own merch. It's so crazy how merch has become a term now. But back then it really wasn't. I'm sure ICP was saying merch. I'm joking. Down to merch at any given money. If there's money on the block, then where am I? And that's from a Drez line from Black Sheep. Our dicks are the planet. And where are you?
I'll coin one more. Then stop that on it. Our dicks are the planet. And where are you?
And you just want to finish the rap. And I always wanted to do that. And Knife was like, I think you want to go back and do that? Well, he's offering. I'm like, no, I want to leave it like that. The Black Sheep thing. And he got it. So we moved on. Now it's Hussle. That is Hussle. John Cena got on the remix. It was amazing. He wrote his own verse as far as I know.
You think it's all fun and games, but this shit is no joke. The type of stage where the millionaires be cutting your throat. They move quick, but I'm quicker. Seem stiffer than straight liquor. You fall by the wayside, I ain't gonna lay with you. Born to keep moving, proving I'm wrong. A straight hustler. Stay true to the song. In the street, they pull heat and try to settle a beat. In the square circle, you feel the metal, the teeth. Plus everybody loving you when you feeding them steak. You fall off, you look around, you be seeing who fake. A true hustler. Fall on his face and keep rising. So just when they counting me out, I surprise them. Buck $1 out of 15 cents. When I be clocking in my punch card, make money up here out of oxygen. As long as I'm breathing, my pockets will swell. Sean Cena's the kid that go through hell for a cell. What?
There's so many wrestling intricacies, but we could break that down another time. Love you. Thank you for your time. Have a good one. I'll see y'all soon. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace. Peace.